Some people go to South Korea for the wrong reasons. They're because of K-drama. They may go there because of K-pop. They're because maybe they have a boyfriend, or maybe they have a friend, someone they want to stay with and experience the culture. I'm not saying any of those things are wrong. I'm not saying you can't go to South Korea if you're interested in the culture, the music, or etc. I'm saying that if you're going there specifically for a job, make sure that your job is your number one priority, and then all the pleasure and other leisures and stuff come later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Geneva J, and welcome to my 5 reasons as to why you should not teach English in South Korea. So we're just gonna get right into the video because this could be a little bit controversial, but truth, and sometimes the truth may hurt for some people, but I'd rather be honest with you guys than to lie to you guys. Let's get right into the video, okay? First things first, do not go teach English in South Korea if you are a person that knows that you're very timid / shy, or you're not that comfortable with kids. Now, obviously that should be a given. Like, if you're gonna go teach kids, you obviously should feel comfortable with them. Why would you want to go teach English to kids when you're not comfortable? Listen, I know so many people there who people person, but they're not really for kids. Like, they feel awkward around kids, know how to teach the subject, but they may not know how to be comfortable around the children. Therefore, your Korean co-teachers or principal, whoever comes to watch your class, or they see how you interact with the kids, if they feel like you're awkward, or you're not maybe, explaining things thoroughly to the kids, or you're like, you don't show your inner child, those are enough reasons for them to feel like, this teacher is not really for us. And I've seen it happen numerous times to friends that I know. Even had teachers at one point in time maybe comment one or twice maybe on something that I explained, that if I didn't do it a certain way, felt like the kids wouldn't get it. Like, I had to be a little bit more silly, or I had to be, more theatric with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to embrace that inner child and kind of bring that out for the kids. I'm not saying you have to be silly 24/7, saying that at times you do have to a little bit put on a show. Like, you cannot talk to the kids really how you would talk to your best friend or maybe your family members. Like, maybe you can get away with that with the older kids. Teach younger kids, you definitely cannot get away with it. Like, the kids will instantly spot if you are not being genuine. So that is my first rule. If you're timid and you're awkward around kids, I would definitely suggest that you should not teach English in South Korea. On to the next one. Number 2, the reason why you should not teach English in South Korea. You're just gonna go there to play. I know, another giving, but trust me, it happens. So there are some people who go to South Korea sometimes and forget like why they're there. So some people may go there initially because they wanted a vacation and to see how Korea was, and the only way to get there is to what? Teach English. It's the fastest way and the fastest visa at the moment. The visas, but they are harder to get. There's different type of qualifications and etc. Some people go to South Korea for the wrong reasons. They may go there because of K-drama. They may go there because of K-pop. They go there because maybe they have a boyfriend, or maybe they have a friend, or someone they want to stay with, experience the culture. I'm not saying any of those things are wrong. I'm saying you can't go to South Korea if you're interested in the culture, the music, or etc. I'm just saying that if you're going there specifically for a job, make sure that your job is your number one priority, and then all the pleasure and other leisures and stuff come later. You don't want to get caught up in a situation where your school catches you out and about somewhere, or you get posted online somewhere doing something crazy, not taking care of yourself, you're not taking care of the kids that you're teaching, you're not teaching them properly, all because you just want to play all day and not work. You know what I mean? Like, you want to work harder and then play later, but just make sure you're not going to Korea just to play games / to not actually teach English. Like, if you're going there just to have a good old time and you think you can get away with not putting in the work, trust me, it's not gonna fly over there, okay? Next, my third reason as to why you should not go teach English in South Korea is you're a sensitive person. I'm talking like super sensitive. Don't get me wrong, I can be sensitive, but at the same time, I also try not to be sensitive if I can, but I realize I'm actually sensitive. Reasons why I actually came back home. So if y'all didn't see that video, I'll put the link up here somewhere for y'all to see it because it's one of my reasons. Sometimes, depending on if you're teaching in a public school or at a hagwon, it's a different experience, it's a different work life. And at times you may have, miscommunication issues. And if you don't know how to handle those things properly, you may be thinking that they're trying to be rude to you, that they're trying to, make you feel small. You're being rude and trying to make them feel small. So sometimes, there could be language barrier, or if there's not language barrier, it can just be, something that just rubbed them off the wrong way. What I say is that if you're a sensitive person, it's going to be really hard for you to sometimes navigate yourself in that world, because if you're the kind of person who likes, to talk to people all the time. You might end up at a school that they don't really speak English that well, and you're obviously the only English teacher. So talking to other kids or talking to your co-teachers or your principal could be really hard. And if you're feeling sensitive about something like that, then it's not going to work out for you. So my advice with that is, if you know you get hurt easily by words or in certain situations that you can't handle it, if it's too awkward for you, like if you're just overall a person who maybe even deals with anxiety a lot, not doing it, because trust me, the stress level can be really high. And at times, you really don't have enough time to kind of prepare yourself for something. So that's another thing I struggled with at times, especially when I was at my public school. Sometimes you just were not prepared for something. Like if your class got canceled, you had to deal with it. If your class got moved to another point of the day, you had to deal with that and go do it. Maybe you didn't prepare for, that subject until you wanted to prepare for the next following week, but you maybe have to teach it today. Times like that where you can be put in this really super stress high environment, and you're gonna have to learn how to take it. Therefore, is why I'm saying, if you're the kind of person that gets stressed easily, as you're very sensitive, this will not work out for you. On to my next one. This is number 4. My 4th reason as to why you should not teach English in South Korea is if you're a person who could not deal with loneliness. Now, this can be something that's, it could be a little so-so for some people. Like, obviously, most people should know that when you move to South Korea, you will be living by yourself. Unless you talk with your school and kind of set up something for you and your partner to live together and, that kind of thing. But most times, if you're moving there by yourself, even if you go through orientation, even if you, made some friends online, the majority of the time, you will be living in that apartment alone. You'll be living in that apartment alone 24/7, 24/8. And you're just going to have to get, adjusted with being with yourself. Now, if you've never lived by yourself before, this will be something different. I've never lived by myself before. So living there and being able to be by myself and like being alone with my own thoughts and, be able to do whatever I want in my own privacy is a nice thing, but then it can also be a not so nice thing. Because if you thought going to Korea was going to help you erase problems and not have to think about certain things, trust me, it's not going to work. The times that you spend by yourself alone, kind of think of it like when you take a shower and you're by yourself, and that's like alone time with your thoughts. Yeah, imagine that all the time. So if you're not in a good headspace, I don't suggest moving to South Korea, because you're just going to make it worse. That's like if you're literally dealing with mental health issues or certain things on that high degree, I would definitely not advise you to go straight ahead into teaching English, because it could maybe put you into a spiral, maybe it can stress you out more, and then also being by yourself majority of the time is going to be a struggle and mental to you as well. Now, my 5th reason also ties into that, which is my last reason. Make this 5 reasons why. Making friends is not that easy in South Korea. So a person who leans on family and friends majority of the time in order for you to feel comfortable, to feel like that you're not alone, it can be hard, which is why it's like you can make other friends that you make at orientation online before you come, but it's like you never know what's gonna happen until you get there. How would I tie making friends into teaching in South Korea? Because the days when you're at work, especially if you're teaching at a hagwon, forget public school. Public school, you're by yourself as an English teacher. So if you don't really talk to the co-teachers or the other people like that, if you're that kind of person who you don't mind chatting with other people, then you're fine. If you're the kind of person who needs someone to talk to at your job, it will be difficult at a public school because you're the only English teacher. And if you don't have English speaking co-teachers and a principal, it's definitely going to be hard. At a hagwon, there's more English teachers and there's more English speaking co-teachers, so you can kind of make friends. You can kind of have a little bit of that work-life balance at work, if not after work. There's also cons to that as well, because if you make friends and things don't go right, you can end up being lonely. At times, you can make friends at your job, but you never know if they're actually trying to help you or make things worse for you, if you get what I'm saying. I can make a whole nother story time on that. So that goes to say, if you're the kind of person who needs friends / family, let's say, just to be there in general, and you feel as though you're trying to push yourself to do it, I would not advise you to do it, because at the end of the day, you'll feel lonely and you might feel stressed out. I felt that way my first year living in South Korea. I made the video for that as well and put it up here somewhere for you guys. But my first year moved out to the countryside. I had so many friends at orientation, but they got spread out elsewhere in Gyeongsang-namdo, and I was literally left in a small town in Gangsam Namdo, which is Chunyoung. Not that many people, okay. Harmony and Harabadi's, yes. But I was there and I felt very lonely like the first half of my year until I started to make friends in my town who I didn't know that lived there at first. Then it got better towards the time before I moved to Seoul. But that does not happen for everyone. So if you're trying to move to South Korea to make friends and have that good work-life balance, maybe, you know, I don't know, you know, start dating and then eventually migrate yourself into making a family. All those things may not happen till later. You can end up being there for a year or 2 or 3 before things even start to get into that type of situations. I'm not gonna promise you that that's gonna happen 100%. I just say, like I always say to people, go there being yourself. If things are meant to happen, they will happen. If they're not meant to happen, they will not happen. Do I say all of these warnings as a way for you to still not go to South Korea? No. I say still go to South Korea, sit for yourself and see if it's the place for you to live long-term, short-term, what have you. Because I had to do that myself, and that's how I realized that, you know, I do love living here, but work culture-wise, it's not for me. If I was to ever go back, I'd probably do a different type of job / you know, something else. I hope you guys take this with a grain of salt. Still do whatever you want to do. This is just my, you know, advice / warning for those who may have had some thoughts about this. If you want any more advice or other type of tips South Korea to be an English teacher, just let me know. I did live there for 3 years, so a lot of knowledge on that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I enjoyed the video and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.